Namaste. Today let's talk about sales. Now you may be wondering, why is sales important? Well, let me tell you. If you're an aspiring freelancer or a businessman or an entrepreneur, let me tell you, all successful businessmen and entrepreneurs and freelancers are good in sales. They know how to sell their product. They know what to make, when to make, what to sell, and most importantly, how to sell, which is why sales is very important. Now, there are some things that you need to understand before selling anything. Number one is your product has a target customer base. That is, you cannot sell anything to anybody. It's not intended for everybody on earth. There's a target customer base for your product. For example, if you're a toy company, so your target customer base would be the parents of children aged 2 to 7. You cannot sell that toy to a teenager or people in their 20s and 30s who don't have kids. They're not going to buy a product, plain and simple. So once you segregate these people, people who are not at all interested in your product to people who might be a little bit interested. So those people with little interest in your product or the most interest are your target customer base. Now, how do you sell the product to these people? How do you know, how do you understand what is it that they're looking for? By asking questions. And most companies around the world achieve this by asking them questionnaires, surveys over the internet. And there are many ways to do it. So ask them questions like, what is it that they're looking for? What features do they look for in a particular product? When they bought a previous product, how did it make them feel? How do they feel about that right now? Was that a good purchase? And why did they buy it? And why didn't they buy the other product, which was maybe the product's competition which they bought, etc., etc. So these questions really make you understand the customer's behavior, the buying behavior of the customer, which in turn makes you understand what is it that the customer is looking for. Now, based on this information, you build a product, you design a product or a service. And once it's through R&D and everything, once the product is ready to be sold, now comes the actual selling. Now, how do you offer this product to the customer? You've designed the product based on his needs, but now how do you offer it? The first thing to remember here is whoever it is that is in charge of selling your product are the very important part of your team, because they need to have in-depth knowledge of the product or the service that you have to offer. Nobody will be interested in a person who has no knowledge about the product or the service that he has to offer. You need to have knowledge about the features of the product, everything in detail, what the product is going to offer to the customer. Once you know what the customer wants and you're aware of the product's features, then with these two information, you can come up with what is the value that the product is going to offer to the customer, and this is what you're going to sell. You're going to sell the value that the product is going to offer to the customer, not the product itself. Because at the end of the day, the customers are not interested, they're least interested in your product, but they're most interested in how the product is going to make a difference in their lives, how the product is going to benefit them, what value the product has to offer to the customer, what difference is it going to make in their lives. That's all they're looking for. Now, let's say, for example, you're in the FMCG business and you sell all sorts of consumer goods, and you have a specific customer base who are looking for a shampoo, and these people deal with dandruff problems. Now, if you offer them a regular shampoo, they might straightforward reject your product because it's not catering to their needs, it's not providing them any value. However, if you offer to them a dandruff shampoo, a shampoo specially designed to curtail the dandruff issues, well, then they might go ahead and buy your product because it's catering to their needs, it's providing them value. Now, in this case, the product being the shampoo and the value that the product has to offer being its ability to reduce dandruff. So you need to sell that value to the customer. And if you try to sell the product itself, then I'm afraid that you might come off as being too salesy. And nobody likes a salesy person, neither me nor you or anybody on this planet. Nobody likes a salesy person because a salesy person tells you what to do, what to buy, and nobody likes to be told what to do and what to buy. People would like to come across that decision for themselves, and they take that decision based on the value Always try to sell the value that the product has to offer or the service has to offer to the customer, not the product itself. So that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next. Until then, be good, do good. Namaste.